Forget that boring scene of a failed painter blowing his brains out in a bunker. That's old news. Picture this. It's 1945, and the whole world is throwing a massive party because the server admin of the Nazis has finally logged off from Earth. But while the Allies are busy digging through the trash in the ruins of Berlin to find his charred remains, at a dark harbor somewhere, a U-boat quietly submerges with a cargo of gold and a dude with a very familiar mustache chilling inside. While history professors swear on their lives that he rage quit with a lead pill, the FBI secretly kept thick files about a mysterious old man in South America who looked 99% like this world-class griefer. Could the most hunted man in history have pulled off the ultimate pro-gamer move, using a high-tier cheat code to vanish from the radar and live his best life in Argentina under a fake name? Have we been bamboozled for 80 years by a poorly written play? Welcome to the Medieval Archive. Today, we're exposing the craziest conspiracy theory of all time. Did Adolf Hitler actually GG in the bunker, or did he use a Smurf account to skip his own tragic ending?
Before becoming the final boss, with ambitions to dye the entire world map red, Adolf Hitler was actually a literal loser. Imagine a small-town kid heading to Vienna with dreams of becoming a legendary artist, only to get rejected by the art school twice because his graphics were trash. Salty from being nerfed right at the gate, he lived like a glitched NPC, sleeping under bridges, eating charity soup, and spending all day yapping about politics to anyone unlucky enough to stand near him. He was exactly like that hard-stuck bronze player who constantly blames his teammates and demands to solo mid. Then, WWI broke out like a life-saving event for him. Hitler joined the army, and while he wasn't exactly a super soldier, he was an S-tier try-hard at sucking up to his superiors. While everyone else wanted to surrender to go home to mama, Hitler saw this as the perfect lobby to start his boosting service. After Germany lost, he fell into a state of desperate noobness, wandering through trashy beer halls in Munich. There, he discovered his hidden passive skill, yapping. With just a mic and some speeches smelling like gunpowder, he successfully baited a starving crowd, turning a tiny group into the most powerful clan on the Germany server. He started trash-talking about a 1,000-year empire and purging the server of bugs he made up in his head. He was no longer a failed artist. He had officially topped up his credits, bought the dictator skin, and was prepping for an all-out raid on the entire world system. So, he started map hacking. While other countries were busy farming peace, Hitler decided to spam troops, buff his tank armor, and unleash the Blitzkrieg strategy. Basically a speed run that left all of Europe shook. He wiped out Poland, France, and neighboring countries so fast, people thought he was using an infinite health cheat. At this point, the failed painter's ego was literally in the stratosphere. He stood in front of the Eiffel Tower, posing like an influencer, thinking he was the admin of Server Earth. But hey, we all know what happens when you talk big too early. Instead of quitting while he was ahead to keep his win streak, Hitler made the fatal mistake of every delusional gamer. He decided to open a new server in the East, challenging the USSR to a 1v1 in the middle of a brutal winter. This is where he got nerfed into the ground. His troops froze, his tanks got stuck in the mud, and he sat in his mansion, screaming into his mic, giving orders to divisions that didn't even exist on the map anymore. He started hallucinating, believing he could clutch the game with secret weapons from Ohio. In the eyes of his subordinates, he wasn't a military genius anymore. He was just a toxic player, smashing his keyboard because he was getting spawn camped in his own base. The peak of his main character syndrome was when he appointed himself Supreme Commander, forcing generals to follow his down-to-earth, literally into the dirt, strategies. And when the Allies landed on Normandy like a massive raid boss wave, he still sat there, believing he was the king of the world, until he heard the Red Army's artillery knocking on his bunker's ceiling. And then, the banhammer of destiny finally dropped on his head. With the Soviets so close he could hear them swearing on his roof, Hitler realized he was out of HP, out of healing items, and his teammates were all looking to backstab him to save their own skins. In that suffocating concrete hole, he made the classic toxic gamer move when cornered, logging out immediately so the enemy wouldn't get the kill credit. Officially, he popped himself after sending his pet dog and 40-hour wife to buy salt. Die first. But here's the sus part. After he HOED, died, his guards supposedly dragged his body out, poured gas on it, and torched it to destroy the evidence. When the Red Army rushed in, they only found a pile of ash and some teeth that kind of looked like his. And boom, the world fell for a scam of the century. Questions started popping up. Why did such a meticulous guy leave no verifiable remains? Why did the FBI get thousands of reports about an old man with a very fire mustache walking around Argentina, or hiding in a secret base in Antarctica? There's a conspiracy theory that he used a Smurf account, some poor body double, to take the lead pill for him, while the real Hitler hopped on a U-boat powered by Trust Me Bro to skip the ending and start a new game plus in South America. The fact that his death was so sudden and vague makes this game over screen look more like a glitched mod than historical fact. People just keep yapping about whether he really rage quit or just used a name change ticket to dodge justice for the rest of his life.